Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to TCS iON IntelliGem 2024. Before we move any further, may I please request Ms. Shalini Gopalakrishnan, Head TCS iON IntelliGem and School Education Engagements to set the ball rolling.
A happy new year to everyone gathered here today, and a warm welcome to the national grand finale of the 6th edition of TCS iON IntelliGem. Hearty congratulations to all our finalists. In the last few years, educational institutions, policies, and forums have stressed upon the need to inculcate the much needed 21st century skills in young learners at an early age. With the advance in AI, this need has increased manifold, with surprising speed and agility. At TCS iON, with this foresight, IntelliGem was conceptualized as early as 2018. The purpose then was to reach out to schools, educators, students, and parents alike to increase the awareness of these crucial 21st century skills. We aim to make the students realize their true potential and be prepared for the unknown, uncertain, yet ever evolving future. This program, devised in a contest mode, runs almost through the entire academic session, starting from the Independence Day and concluding on the Republic Day. Right from the selection of the 5 skills or topics, to the structure of the various stages of the contest, to creation of the evaluation criteria, the entire student journey, learning, and experience has been diligently designed by a team of experts. Once the student registers and enrolls into the program, they are exposed to enriching learning content, and the student definitely takes something back home with them. Now, to all our finalists, congratulations and wish you the very best. You have proven to be an IntelliGem, and that is what we celebrate. Every one of you is a gem. Now, without further ado, over to the host. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's my privilege to introduce our host for the day. Rashmi is currently Asia's only professional lady quiz host. An alumnus of the prestigious NITK Surathkal and IIM Calcutta, she has hosted close to 1,000 shows across India, Singapore, and several countries across the Middle East. She is the only woman to have been invited to host a quiz at Kuwait for the last 5 years. She was recognized by Business World as 40 under 40 as a personality from India to reckon with. She was the winner of the Quiz Host of the Year 2022 by SMX Leadership Summit. She's been part of this quiz for many years, as she has been part of several quizzes such as Tata Crucible, the Union Bank Quiz, the Rural IT Quiz, TCS Inquisitive, just to name a few. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get started. Time to welcome your host, Miss Rashmi Furtado.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 6th edition of TCS iON IntelliGem. This is the grand finale of Universal Values in the senior category. You would have already watched the tiny tots from classes 5 and 6. Well, I don't think we can call them tiny tots anymore, considering the kind of points of view that came from them. But it's time for us to get to know what our seniors have to speak on various topics that we have created for them here today. So let's get started by getting to know our finalists, ladies and gentlemen. Our first finalist joining us from the Hyderabad Public School, she's in class 7, is Samskriti. All right, up next from class 8, joining us from Sri Kumaran Children's Home, Bengaluru is Dikshita. Joining us from the Silver Oaks International School, Hyderabad is Shrisha. Shrisha is in class 9. Up next from class 8, joining us from the Indus International School, Bangalore is Ishan. Following Ishan, from class 7, representing Delhi Public School, Gurgaon is Rishik. And completing this lineup for us here today from class 9, representing the Vidyodaya School in Ernakulam is Geetanjali. Ladies and gentlemen, IntelliGem is an initiative by TCS iON started 6 years ago. They came up with a list of 21st century skills or future skills that is important for our students to equip themselves with. And they did a lot of research to come up with these skills that they have. And to tell you the truth, year on year, the kind of students who come into this program and move into the grand finale, believe me, I get fresh perspective every year from what they say. And these children who are here with us today have gone through multiple preliminary rounds and personal interviews to reach this grand finale. So they have done quite a bit of homework, and we have also judged them at various levels to ensure that they are very good and they are of high caliber, for which they are now qualified into the grand finale of Universal Values in the senior category. So let's get started with this grand finale, ladies and gentlemen. The first round of this finale coming up is me in 30 seconds. Here we go. All of us like to talk about ourselves and like to introduce ourselves, but we don't always have a lot of time to do so. In this round, we want our students to understand that they need to be able to introduce themselves and make an impact in the least possible amount of time. So 30 seconds is what they get. But another thing that they need to keep in mind when they introduce themselves is they have to tell us what is the universal value or values that they will uphold and why. They need to talk about this as well. So let's get started with Samskriti. I request all the finalists to stick to the 30 seconds of time that they have in this round and not to exceed the 30 seconds. Samskriti, your 30 seconds starting now.
Allopathy, homeopathy, and empathy. Yes, I firmly believe that empathy is as important a medicine to truly heal the world filled with apathy. I repeated what I said last year, but now with more conviction because of one more year of understanding values. Empathy, the mother of all values, equality, humility, and gratitude. I believe it is an important practice and we need to make it an integral part of our culture, our Samskriti. Namaste. This is Samskriti, wishing my co-participants the best and a happy new year to you all.
What a beautiful way of connecting empathy to her own name, Samskriti. And I like the one line that she made, empathy is a cure to apathy in the world. All right, let's move on. If this is how our contestants are going to speak, I actually feel bad for our jury members right in the first round. Let's move on to our next finalist. Coming up is Dikshita. Go ahead.
I am Dikshita Krishnan and I firmly believe in the value of integrity. Integrity is an important part of our life, for if we want to connect with people, we require them to trust us. Integrity builds trust. Thank you.
Thank you, Dikshita. Short and sweet. Let's move on to our next finalist, Shrisha. You have 30 seconds of time, starting now.
Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Let all beings in the world be happy and well. Greetings to the esteemed jury and fellow finalists. I am Srisha Reddy from Silver Oaks International School, Hyderabad. MUNs, badminton, gymnastics, and an avid interest in geopolitics have instilled in me a sense of empathy and respect. As I journey through life, I commit to upholding empathy and integrity. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others, while I will guide my interactions fostering connections, understanding, and empathy. Integrity will be my moral compass, ensuring honesty and consistency in my actions. I stand for and passionately preach about Sarvodaya, the concept of universal uplift, which, according to me, is the way for an ideal society. Thank you.
Thank you, Shrisha. Honestly, I don't think we expect someone from class 9 to tell us that she's interested in geopolitics. Let's move on to our next finalist. Ishan, you have 30 seconds of time, starting now.
My name is Ishan Jain of grade 8 of Indus International School. Living in a 21st century world, 21st century competencies are definitely and obviously the most important. And so prioritizing the core values of empathy, equality, and respecting diversity are the most important. Making conscious choices as a student and human being to incorporate these is one of the only ways to create a fair and just environment across the world. Thank you, and all the best to everyone.
Thank you, Ishan. Our next contestant introducing himself is Rishik. He's from Delhi Public School. Rishik, you have 30 seconds of time. Please go ahead.
Albert Einstein rightly said, strive not to become just a man of success, but rather a man of values. It's true that universal values are the pillars of global community that allow individuals to distinguish between right and wrong. I, Vishek De Sarkar of grade 7 from DPS Gurgaon, am here to uphold the values of integrity and self-esteem. Integrity, a foundational universal value, signifies honesty, being true to one's core values, and aligning actions with them, while self-esteem is one's understanding of his or her personal value and embodying confidence and positivity in actions. So standing for these values is not just about what I believe in, but also about who I am and who I aspire to be. Thank you.
Well, a beautiful combination of integrity and self-esteem is what Rishik says. And completing this lineup for us here today is Geetanjali. Geetanjali, you have 30 seconds of time. Please get started.
Good evening to all. I'm Gitanjali Shekhar from Vidyodaya School, Cochin. How great it is of no use if it isn't maintained properly. And this is why I believe in upholding justice. Peace, equality, and freedom are all values we value highly. But it is justice that ensures their availability, and justice that enables us to live with the knowledge that our rights are being respected. I aim to be a citizen who helps India uphold these values. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Geetanjali. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an eminent panel of jury who have joined us here today, Mr. Srinivasa Madinahalli and Mr. Anubhav Chatterjee. To introduce them, I will need more than 30 seconds, so I will get to their introductions a little later. For now, let's move on to the second round of this finale. Coming up is heads and tails. Ladies and gentlemen, in this round, we want our contestants to understand that there could be multiple perspectives to a topic. It's very important for them at this age to understand this point. So let's take a look at the topic here today. Coming up on your screen is the topic. A white lie is a necessary evil. So let's see what our contestants have to say on this topic. You have 60 seconds of time. You will speak 30 seconds for the topic and 30 seconds against the topic. Please understand, I will only time you for 60 seconds. I will not tell you if your 30 seconds are up. It's up to you on how you manage the 60 seconds that have been given to you. So I request all of you to stick to the 60 seconds and not cross the 60 seconds, okay? So let's get started. This time, let's start with Geetanjali. Geetanjali, you have 60 seconds of time, and the topic, a white lie is a necessary evil. Let's get started. Go ahead.
The question here seems to be whether the end justifies the means. That is, if it has a positive effect on the other person, should it be demonized? The truth is, we engage in white lies every day, whether it is simply to compliment someone's cooking or to say that we haven't completed a task. Truth is, it happens, and we can't really make much change in that. There is also another core factor here. It's a pro-social lie. These are lies that are made for the benefit of the community, and this is something that is an evolutionary trait. It is our most animalistic tendencies to avoid conflict. However, it must also be said that white lies can also be a deep hole. We may not be able to understand the difference between a white lie and a proper lie at a certain point. There is also a problem that people don't seem to understand the difference between honesty and bluntness. A lie is not often the only situation. Saying the truth kindly is a better alternative, and it will have twice the impact of a lie because now, to the other person, you are both trustworthy and a straightforward person. Overall, the best situation, the best way to deal with it is to do it with tact. Thank you.
Thank you, Geetanjali. Well, I think we adults should learn a thing or two from these children here today. Ensuring that we engage in white lies with tact is what she says. So let's move on to our next finalist. Rishik, you have 60 seconds of time on this topic. Please get started.
Imagine this. Your best friend just got a new haircut and asked you how it looks. It isn't especially good, so what would you say? Most people would lie to their friends that their haircut was stunning, even if it was not. This is called a white lie. However, is it a necessary evil? I will argue that they are sometimes justified, but not always. So, a white lie is spoken with good intent, often motivated by empathy and kindness, which usually prevents the lie receiver from getting hurt unnecessarily, creating a positive impression while maintaining peace and harmony. A white lie, in a sense of benefiting other people and not oneself, is justified. However, white lies can cause many problems for both the liar and the lied to. For one, it causes guilt in one's mind, especially if they value integrity and honesty, affecting their self esteem. It can also hurt the other person if they figure out the truth. Moreover, white lies can break the peace, which they were ironically made to preserve. So, a white lie, in the sense of benefiting oneself, is not at all justified. At the end of the day, being honest and truthful usually leads to better results in the long run, though white lies are sometimes a necessary evil when they are told to protect others from harm. Thank you.
All right, moving on to our next finalist, Ishan. You have 60 seconds of time on the topic. Please get started.
I believe that in certain situations, a white lie is used only as a necessary tool to maintain harmony, protect feelings, or prevent unnecessary conflict. Sometimes the truth might cause more harm than good, and so a white lie is extremely useful when it comes to delicate situations. A well intentioned white lie is used to spare someone's feelings or to navigate socially awkward situations without causing discomfort. It acts as a buffer in relationships and allows smoother interactions or preserves peace without any significant harm. And so, if well intentioned, a white lie may be a necessary evil. However, labeling them as necessary evils are often used as excuses or explanations for dishonesty, and that may decrease the value of honesty and integrity in interactions. Though this may be harmless in the short term, it may actually decrease trust or credibility in the long run. And while they do prevent misunderstandings in the here and now, in the long term, they will actually lead to more misunderstandings or damaged relationships. So, though it may seem difficult, encouraging honesty, though it must be done while being kind and smart about it, does foster genuine connections and relationships that are built on trust and mutual respect. Because of this, avoiding white lies, no matter how well intentioned they are, becomes extremely important. So, no, I don't believe that they truly are a necessary evil.
Well, a white lie can be an excuse to dishonesty, a beautiful point put forth by Ishan there. Let's now move on to Shrisha. Shrisha, you have 60 seconds of time on the topic. Please get started.
In our complex social fabric, there are moments when telling a small untruth can preserve harmony and protect feelings. These benign falsehoods often serve as a social lubricant, smoothing the rough edges of communication and preventing unnecessary conflict. However, let's not underestimate the potential harm that white lies can inflict. Honesty is the bedrock of trust, and even seemingly harmless untruths can erode the foundation of relationships over time. A society built on deception risks losing its moral compass. We should strive for open communication, even if it means navigating uncomfortable truths. The long term consequences of habitual white lies might outweigh the short term benefits, leading to a culture where trust is a rare commodity. But, however, sometimes, in the interest of maintaining relationships and fostering goodwill, a well intentioned white lie can be a pragmatic choice. So, to give a proper statement, ladies and gentlemen, the idea of a white lie is indeed a necessary evil. Thank you.
Thank you, Shrisha. A pragmatic choice is what she says. But of course, she said it has to be a well intentioned white lie. All right, let's move on to our next finalist. Dikshita, you have 60 seconds of time starting now.
I believe that white lies are a necessary evil or not. It depends on the context. For example, in certain scenarios, we require honest feedback. In these scenarios, just because for the sake of being polite or avoiding conflict, if we use a white lie, it can cause damage, which is not what we require. Therefore, whether white lies are a necessary evil or not can be concluded by thinking about honesty and integrity and valuing lies. Really, this is not what our society intends. Thank you.
Thank you, Dikshita. Completing this round for us here today is Samskriti. Samskriti, you have a minute's time. Please go ahead.
I am fine, doing great, we answer without even blinking. If someone asks, how are you? Very nice, we answer when someone asks us, how do I look in this dress? White lies. That's what those answers are. Daily. Small, harmless, just to be kind, and as a social nicety. Come on, where is the evil in doctors comforting terminally ill patients that things will get better? In me lying to save my dear friend from getting harmed or hurt? But, can that necessary part justify it all? Lies, white, black, or grey, can cause similar damage over a period of time. They breach trust, lead to unrealistic views, become a slippery habit. Well, let me conclude. White lies are like a double-edged sword. Necessary? Yes. Evil? Yes. It depends on the context, intent, consequences, and culture. Thank you.
Thank you, Samskriti. She compared the white lie to a double-edged sword, necessary and evil both, she says. Well, I feel bad for our jury already, but it's their headache. It's not mine to pick up a winner from among them, so I shouldn't be worried about it. Let's move on to our next round, ladies and gentlemen. Voice your views. Here we go. All right, in this round, you have a topic. Let's take a look at the topic coming up on your screen. Ethics and success. Are they twins? You have 8 minutes of time to debate on this topic. We encourage you to arrive at a conclusion towards the end of the debate. However, we will not hold it against you if you're not able to do so. We would be happy if you arrive at a conclusion, especially at your age. You should know how to arrive at a consensus at an end of a debate. That's very important. You have 8 minutes of time. If you're not able to arrive at a consensus at the end of the 8th minute, I will give you a grace of 1 minute. But that's all that will be given to you. Please understand, at the end of the 9th minute, I will stop the debate. Okay? I will not be moderating the debate, so the floor is going to be open to all of you to moderate the debate or to see in which direction you want to take this debate. So let's get started with this debate, ladies and gentlemen. The topic, ethics and success. Are they twins? Your 8 minutes of time starting now.
Allow me
So let me open this debate by saying that while ethics and success may seem different, they are closely intertwined. Ethical behavior can pave the way for success, and true success often requires a strong ethical foundation. Therefore, one could argue that they are indeed two sides of the same coin. What's your say on this?
Though they may be set the context, I think the answer to the question is ethics and success. Are they twins? Depends on how we define the key terms. What is ethics? What is success? What does the term twins convey in this context? So, the answer to that question depends on our worldview. Please share your perspectives.
I think
But
that
I also
if,
have a,
yeah.
I also have a similar view considering the view of success that you'd mentioned here. Because success can be both in material terms and in personal values. So, for example, if you value success as in monetary gain, a high job, in that case, I don't think we can argue that ethics is a must here. Because nowadays we see so many people in high positions who are blatantly disrupting their use of this sort of position. During the COVID-19 pandemic, especially, there were many businessmen who were using the who were violating the pandemic guidelines by sending their workers out. And they were not persecuted in a large way, and they still continue to hold that position of power. However, if we're taking success as personal values, then I believe that ethics is a huge part of it.
Well, to
Ethics.
once, I'm very sorry, Dikshita. I will just add to Geetanjali's point. So, Geetanjali and Samskriti have given points that state that our opinion of this question may change based on the context. So, if success, like Geetanjali said, could be taken in a personal way, I don't think they would have given it separate to ethics, because in context to universal values, ethics will be all the things that we stand for and the things we advocate, which is why we are here, such as integrity, empathy, and justice. Whereas success is the materialistic success in this case. So from here on, I think we can take the debate forward and reach a final statement at the end. Dikshita,
Yeah.
You are right. I just want to add to that. I personally think that if success is a glowing skyscraper visible to the outside world, ethics must be the foundation. Stronger and deeper the foundation, the taller and importantly more lasting the success tower would be. Dikshita, please add.
Okay. So basically, ethics are what build trust. So they're like a guideline for our success. What does everyone think about this?
Wait 1 second. So,
So, yeah.
to add to Sanskrit, 1 second, Ishan, I'm very sorry for interrupting you. So, it seems that Samskriti and Dikshita have similar views. They both think that ethics and success are interconnected, which I totally agree with. But what do you guys think? Are they? It's not about whether they're interconnected, right? The question is about whether they are similar. Because twins in this context is similar or at some point congruent. So, do you think they are similar, not connected? Like, definitely they are connected. I'm not disagreeing with you. So, do you guys think they're connected or not? That's what I think the question is.
So yeah,
I
like
see your
everyone has
point.
mentioned so far, like everyone has mentioned so far, they are definitely intertwined, but success can definitely and has been achieved by compromising ethics and cutting corners in terms of the moral aspect. And so, no, I don't think if you're talking about monetary success, I don't think they are twins. What do you
I
guys have
agree
to say?
with Ishan's
Definitely.
point.
Definitely,
Because
Ishan, definitely.
There are
success,
world. Okay, continue, please.
Thank you. So when we're taking success in count, a large amount of people who have been able to be extremely successful aren't necessarily known for following ethics. Taking the list of billionaires or even people at our own country, politicians, people who change the world we live in aren't people who are known for going for ethics. And as such, they don't have a direct connection. However, if you're building a brand and you want that kind of trust, ethics is extremely important. It all depends on what you're using as a constant and a variable. If your constant is success and ethics is the variable you're using, it's not going to be as easy. However, if ethics is the constant that you're using and the variable here is the success, I believe that you will have a more stable brand. Sure, you may have short-term success, however, to build a long-lasting brand, that kind of relationship with your customers, I believe that it's extremely important.
Yes,
I
agree with what you
One
said.
second,
Point.
Samskriti. 1 second,
However,
Samskriti. Samskriti.
may I complete my point?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. However, to add to Geetanjali's point, there are something called conflicting worldviews. Shortcuts surely seem to attract the world that admires overnight success stories and quick results, quick profits, high valuations, and number games. If that is the worldview, more bubbles would blast in the economic world, more Bayrus in the business world, more performance drugs to win sports, more Ponzi schemes and more accounting gimmicks. But when we define success with the guiding principles like sustainability and responsibility, sensitivity to ecosystem and spread of the beneficiaries, then there would be more of Tata's and more of Infosys, where all the stakeholders benefit customers, employees, and shareholders. Please continue with your point.
Definitely,
I see your
Sanskriti.
point, and I'd like to add the fact that we cannot we cannot substantially differentiate a building from its foundation, because a building without its foundation will crumble, and a foundation without its building is nothing. So we can see as ethics as the foundation and external success as the building. Ethics and success are connected. And even though if they're not exactly twins, they are deeply interconnected. One without the other is meaningless. What are your thoughts on this?
Well,
Yeah.
Rishik, one second, Dikshita. After I'm done, could you please speak if you don't mind? Yes, thank you. Well, Rishik, we have already discussed this point, and like Samskriti and Dikshita also seem to agree with you. They have also stated that it will be interconnected. And I love the example Geetanjali took comparing the success and ethics to variables and constants. And well, here we are talking about success as materialistic and ethics as the universal values we uphold. And if we prioritize success over ethics in this situation, the equation will crumble. And we have seen that ethics and success are definitely not twins, because we see competitive realities. Like the point mentioned by Ishan, we have highly competitive working environments, and success may seem contingent on bending or breaking these ethical norms. Not all successful people do this, definitely. But the argument here is that to stay ahead, individuals or organizations they make difficult ethical compromises, and there's a lot of gray areas in ethics. And we have seen in historical examples that this so-called perception that in the long term it will crumble down is actually not happening. Companies or organizations built on success that seem to demoralize ethics, they seem to succeed to the very end, which is very unfortunate. So according to me, they are not twins. Does everyone else agree with this, or are there any contradicting opinions?
There
So
is
sure, though,
one point that I
perspective.
would like to add.
One second, let me complete my
May
point.
I?
One second, can I complete my point first?
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. So yeah, though you made the point about historically that isn't the truth, I believe that at the end of the day, if you prioritize success over ethics in a way that is unhealthy in the long run, justice is definitely bound to catch up to you in some form or the other. And so I believe, at least if you believe in the idea of karma, then definitely in some way, ethics will find a way to prevail. But yes, you are definitely right. In the past, they haven't really been seen as twins.
You have a minute's time.
Okay, so guys, since we only have a minute's time, should we all just agree with a yes or no to this question? Do you think they are twins or not? So for starters, I do not think they are twins. Dikshita, what do you think?
I think they are twins because for long-term success, that is true success, you require ethics.
May I conclude? Since we have a minute and left.
Yeah, let's. So Sanskriti, what do you think? Are they twins or not? Simple, yes or no question.
I want to explain a bit more so we can conclude this convo. Success is needed. Progress is needed too, but not at any cost. We all know and accept one thing for sure. Now everything and everyone is connected. We are all global citizens. So given this understanding, it's not just success and ethics that can be called twins, right? We are all twins by the same logic. So what does everyone think? Is everyone agreeing?
Ishan, do you think they are twins?
No, I don't think so.
Thank you.
Geetanjali did.
Well, it actually depends on the definition of twins. In the short term, ethics and success are not twins. But in the long term, ethics and success definitely are.
Okay, wonderful. So is it a yes or a no from your side?
I think we can use, considering today's situation, I think we can use it as short term. So I think it would be a no, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Short term.
Yeah.
It's
I think everyone has agreed. Is there anyone left? Nobody, right?
Three of
So-
us
All
said
of us have said.
So
Yes.
we can all
Consensus
agree
is
that
no.
it's a no. No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Ma'am, it's a no.
All right. They say they have arrived at a consensus and ethics and success are not twins, is what they say, and they define it as we look at it from a short-term perspective. All right, we'll take your conclusion and move forward into the next round of our finale here today. Your perspective, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching the 6th edition of TCS ION IntelliGem Universal Values for the senior category. And we are now moving into the 4th round. So let's get started on the 4th round. Let me show you what we have in store for our students here today. The topics coming up on your screen. They have 7 fictional characters. All they have to do is pick one among the 7 and speak about how each of them, what kind of universal value does each of them personify. And that should be their interpretation. For example, if you say Batman, maybe the interpretation would be justice. So giving that example, extrapolating from that, each of these fictional characters will have to be attached to a universal value. I'm sure all of you are aware of these fictional characters. Hermione Granger, of course, a main character from the Harry Potter series. Tom and Jerry are someone who do not need any introduction at all. Across all age groups, all of us know who Tom and Jerry are. Spider-Man, one of the heroes of the Marvel Universe, and always does a lot of superhero stuff. Extending the same to Superman, a superhero from the DC Universe. Thanos, who some say is a villain and some say is an anti-hero. So we'll see what our contestants have to speak on that. We have Captain Marvel, who's also one of the superheroes from the Marvel Universe. And finally, we have Alice in Wonderland and the beautiful story that weaves around her adventures in her Wonderland. Contestants, please remember, I would urge all of you to pick unique topics. We have 7 topics for you, so even the last contestant will have a choice between 2. But in case you feel strongly about a certain topic that's already been chosen by another finalist, you will have to ensure that you come up with a unique point of view. You cannot repeat the same point of view as spoken by the earlier finalists. Okay? And you have a minute's time to speak on what kind of universal value you think goes along with each of these or one of the characters that I've given you here today. So let's get started. Let's start with Geetanjali. Geetanjali, which fictional character would you like to choose?
I'd like to pick Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry. And which universal value do you think goes along with Tom and Jerry?
Friendship.
Friendship. All right. You have a minute's time. Please start.
So when we watch Tom and Jerry, we may first of all think that this is, as usual, a cat and mouse game. However, there's one thing you'll notice as you go further on and on. Even when the owners are present, the cat and mouse chase doesn't end. And it is almost as if they're playing games with each other. And even though the cat could easily alert the owner about the kind of chaos is going on, they choose to continue their friendship in a sort of way. And this is also something that we see in our daily life. We fight with friends, and then in the end of the day, we still remain together. And this is also seen as, while this is also a cat and mouse game, we also have to acknowledge the kind of friendship that they have with each other. Even though they chase each other around and have their disagreements, it seems almost as if they are one kind of thing, as if they have the same goal in the end, to evade the owner and as such build a better friendship together. Thank you.
Thank you, Geetanjali. Friendship is what she says goes in hand with Tom and Jerry. Moving on to Ishan. Ishan, which one would you want to pick?
Okay, I would like to choose Hermione Granger.
Hermione Granger. And what is the universal value that you would attach to her?
Loyalty and unwavering support. Loyalty, basically.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I believe that Hermione Granger's character throughout the Harry Potter series clearly emphasizes loyalty as the most important universal value in her opinion. That is because her friendships with Ron and Harry are both built over a lot of trust over the whole 7 years that they were together and steadfast support over time. It's not just evident in the moments of ease and success for the both of them, but also when they're down and at their lowest points. She also is one of the greatest friends in terms of the friendship character that is associated with loyalty in the whole series. And so I believe that Hermione Granger should be attached to the universal value of loyalty.
Thank you, Ishan. Moving on to Dikshita. Dikshita, which character would you want to speak on?
Uh, I would like to talk about Alice in Wonderland, and I think she represents the value of kindness, being
Go
kind
ahead.
to one and all, irrespective of what they are or where they come from. So Alice was kind in all scenarios to all the creatures that she met, and I think kindness is very important. Alice also represented another value. Besides kindness, she also represented empathy. She tried to understand what the animals were going through. So that is my view on this topic.
Thank you, Dikshita. Empathy and kindness for Alice, she says. All right, let's move on to our next contestant, Rishik. Which character would you like to speak on?
Ma'am, I'd like to speak on Superman.
Superman. And what is the universal value that you would want to attach to Superman?
That is responsibility.
Please go ahead.
So Superman was born on a fictional planet Krypton, and his planet had a natural cataclysm, which means that it would get destroyed. So his parents sent him to planet Earth, and since the spaceship he was sent in was too small to contain anyone else, his parents sacrificed their lives to save him. And on Earth, he developed many superhuman abilities such as super strength, ability to fly, impervious skin, etc. But the main thing that his Earth parents taught him was responsibility. That Superman gained all these abilities. He was unique. Most other people could only dream of such powers, but Superman had them. His parents taught him about responsibility, that he wielded immense power and he had to use it for the greater good. He had to use it to protect the innocent and uphold justice. As it is rightly said, with great power comes great responsibilities. There are many other examples in the DC universe where many characters got immense power, but most of them used these powers for evil purposes and became villains. But Superman understood his duty. Superman understood that he must use his power for the greater good. And that is why I would like to associate Superman with responsibility. Thank you.
Thank you, Rishik. Shrisha, you're up next. Which character would you like to pick?
I would like to pick Captain Marvel, ma'am.
And what is the universal value that we associate with her?
Ma'am, I would like to associate all the values with her.
You need to pick one. You cannot say all the values.
Well, I would like to associate integrity and honesty with her.
Please go ahead.
Well, ma'am, Captain Marvel is known for her integrity and honesty. She adheres to a strict moral code and stands up for what she believes is right, even when she's faced with difficult situations. And regardless of the situation, she's a natural leader. She inspires others. And if you go to many of the young children, especially the female children in today's world, and you ask them which superhero is their favorite, they will most definitely answer Captain Marvel, because that is the kind of values that she upholds. She inspires others with her strong moral compass and dedication to do what's right. And the best part about her is that she treats others with respect, regardless of their background or abilities. Her inclusive and respectful attitude contributes to her role as a positive and inspiring character. And it is one of the reasons not just me, but many others also admire her a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, Shrisha. Samskriti, you conclude this round for us. And which character would you like to speak on?
I would like to speak on Spider-Man, and he is going to be, I think he shows the value of responsibility.
Okay.
To me, Spider-Man represents the value of responsibility. His journey from a high school student to a superhero is marked by understanding that with great power comes great responsibility. His commitment to protecting people and the community shows us that the importance of using one's power or ability for the greater good. Spider-Man also teaches us about the power of taking responsibility for one's actions and making a positive impact on the world. He struggles with balancing his personal life and his superhero duties, but this highlights the real world challenges that come with responsibility. Through I've also He also shows justice too. So through his actions, Spider-Man demonstrates that justice can go beyond only the courtroom, and it requires being good and empathetic to others, and it also requires watchfulness and persistence. Thank you.
Thank you, Samskriti. Ladies and gentlemen, the intention of this round is for all of us, including the children, to understand that even the fictional characters have certain values that they portray. And there is something for us to learn from the fictional characters as well. And I think our finalists have articulated it extremely well here today. So let's move on to the last round of this finale. That's the jury time. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, as promised, we have an esteemed jury panel who has joined us here today. So let me introduce them to you. Our first jury member of the day is Mr. Srinivasa Madenahalli. He has over 20 years of global experience in bringing exceptional customer value with digital transformations, data, IT, product engineering, and so on. And he's delivered innovative solutions in various industries, including the government, that's Government of Karnataka to be specific, IT and infrastructure services, healthcare, telecom, insurance industries, and the non-profit organizations as well. He has positively turned around many difficult initiatives and led and participated in corporate community and individual social initiatives. He has been a part of many student-led initiatives and has been a part of many jury panels and also has been a mentor to many students. Mr. Srinivas, thank you so much for joining us here today. I hope you have enjoyed the finale until now, and we look forward to the questions that you have to ask for our finalists here today.
Yep, thanks, Rashmi, and thanks everyone. I think it kind of puts me in very difficult situation, whom to pick and what marks to give. I think so sometimes I wonder, not sometimes, I'm wondering whether I am really qualified to evaluate you guys.
Well, that's really
that's amazing.
that's very humble of you to say that. But I always say this, I'm empathetic to all our jury members. Let's get to know our second jury member, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Anubhav Chatterjee. With over 15 years of experience across various functions encompassing strategy, sales, and product management, Anubhav has led and mentored his team into diversified markets. He's an engineer and an MBA graduate and has completed his senior management program from IIM Ahmedabad. He has worked across industries like consumer durables, hospitality, and automobiles. Currently, he's working in Classic Legends, and he describes himself as seeker of knowledge and adventure. And he says being curious is his strongest trait. He has authored a quiz book on railways, and he loves movies, sports, business trivia, and also strongly believes that there are no substitutes for values such as honesty, integrity, and accountability. Anubhav, thank you so much for joining us here today. Lovely to have you on board as a jury member.
Thank you, Rashmi. Thank you so much. And once again, like what Mr. Srinivasan said, it was really a tough job evaluating all the participants. You all were fantastic. Keep it up, guys.
Well, your job is not yet done. Both of you have a tough task ahead. Let me inform you on that. Well, we have 6 finalists with us here today. I request each of you to question 3 unique finalists and request you to also stick to 1 question each just to ensure we are on time with the finale. Anubhav, would you like to begin? And whom would you like to speak with?
Yeah, I'll pick Rashik. Then I'll pick Ishan, and I'll pick Gitanjali in my team.
Yeah. Please get started, Anubhav.
Yeah, so I have this question is common to all three of you. So you all watch cricket or you are aware of cricket, right? So,
Yes, sir.
so we have T20 crickets cropping up here and there everywhere. You see the local leagues coming up. You have, I mean, it has become more popular than the Test cricket and one day cricket. Okay. Now, recently, it is a recent news. Okay, South Africa are going to tour New Zealand. Okay, now South Africa has named a squad which comprises players, all second string players or all first class players. Out of the 7 or 8 players will be making the Test debut in New Zealand. So my question to three of you is, with the advent of T20 or with the spread of T20 across the globe, okay, has ethics and success or the ethic to play for your national team has gone down? I mean, or the, you know, what do I say? How can I put it? That or the penchant for, or the liking for, or the motivation to pay for play for your national team has gone down. Has money has superseded everything? Is money the factor in pushing players to play T20 leagues across the globe, compromising on their national team? I hope I'm clear with my question.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ishan, would you?
Could I answer that first?
Please
Yeah.
go ahead. Please go ahead, Ishan.
Ishan, you start.
Okay, so I've been a fan of cricket ever since like I was born. Like as long as I can remember, I've been watching cricket because it was a sport that both my dad and my mom were really like real fans of. And I believe that the responsibility of playing for your national team is something that is greater than all else, and it should be treated as such. But because of the incentive that these T20 leagues are providing, in terms of the monetary factor, like you mentioned, people are giving up that responsibility to earn the money. And so, though I believe that, of course, you are playing cricket as a career, and so you should focus on money, the most important part of of playing the sport is to represent your country, and that would be the greatest honor imaginable. And so I believe that though money has currently surpassed the responsibility, I don't believe that that's the way the sport should be treated in the future.
All right, thank you, Ishan. Rishik, would you want to respond next?
Yes, ma'am. So your question was that have ethics gone down for T20 cricket in the 21st century because of money? Well, my answer is no. Since the 21st century, T20 has exploded, literally. The popularity of T20 has increased by a lot. And if you know me, I am a fan of cricket. So my opinion on this controversial topic is that we first need to look at the original purpose of the T20. So T20 was originally made as a way to showcase talent. Because earlier, when T20 was first made, there were very few people who had talent in cricket and in games such as cricket. So the organizers of T20 decided they wanted to highlight these people. And earlier, T20 was mostly about the monetary prizes you would get. If you win, you get a lot of money. But now, since T20 has exploded in popularity, I think the scenario has quite inverted. Because now it's the fame that comes with winning in T20. Like, who does not know famous people like Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli? I think everyone in India knows about them. And as you can see, this just demonstrates that when events go global, when there's globalization of anything, fame comes before monetary prizes. So to sum up, my take on this is that earlier the situation was that money, it was money that was the motivating force for T20 to run. But now the situation has inverted to fame and popularity. Thank you.
Thank you, Rishik.
Well said,
Geetanjali. Geetanjali, it's your turn. Go ahead.
I will be honest, I'm not as well versed in cricket as my friends here are. However, I do think that it's not as clear cut as money versus nationality. There are several other factors to be taken per player. How is the financial status of the player? What is the nationality? All of those things are also part of this. We can't simply say that because a player is playing for a different country, they are a traitor to the nation or something like that. So when you're taking in games like cricket, the nationality you're playing for is also tied to the game you're playing for, what kind of coaches you get, and all those other exponential stuff also has to be considered here. I don't think that we can call it an overall ethics compromise unless we're talking about very specific type of people. However, overall, I think there isn't an ethics compromise. There's more so a change in the way the game is going.
Thank you, Geetanjali.
Thank you. Well said, Gitanjali.
Thank you, Anubhav. Srinivasa, that is now you're left with Shrisha, Dikshita, and Samskriti. Whom would you like to speak with first?
Yeah, maybe I can go with the Samskriti.
Please.
And so I think I'm not so creative about the question, so let me try it. It's I think maybe a little boring. I just want to ask you guys, so I think it's a general question I would say probably for all three. And how hopeful are you about the world situation considering the geopolitical situation we are in and the environmental or social challenges we are facing? And what values you think are needed more to be better in this, or to tackle these challenges? It's too broad. Just go ahead, Samskriti.
Sure, sir. So, I definitely think I'm very much interested in sustainability and maybe about geopolitics, not much, but about the UN and sustainable development (SDGs) that have blasted through the world right now. I'm very much interested in that. So I believe that that the world is evolutionizing and it has been brought together. It has shrunk together through globalization and technology. Some action in one part of the world can affect another part, and this is called the butterfly effect. I think this, so I think even while the globe is so well connected and is like a global village, differences will seem to continue. But and the thing is, universal values are related to this through not through climatic differences or anything like that, but help managing with mutual respect with each other, and and every society needs to be bound together by some shared principles, which are universal values. And what we need is empathy, which leads to multicultural harmony and is important for equality, non-violence, truth, and freedom. Thank you.
Thank you, Samskriti. So would you want to extend the same question to Dikshita and Shrisha as well? All right, okay. Dikshita, you may answer next. Please go ahead.
So I believe that the most important values of all the universal values that we have in the present context are responsibility, integrity, and empathy. I'd like to explain this with the help of an example. I'll take the example of global warming. So over here, we need the value of responsibility. Because even if each one of us takes one small responsible action, that contributes in some manner. And coming to integrity, if we are honest to ourselves and others around us and behave in a very integral manner, that helps us shape a better society. And empathy It also contributes to making the society better, as when we understand people, it builds a trust. And trust is very important for our day to day tasks. So, these are my thoughts on this.
Thank you, Dikshita. Shrisha,
Yes, ma'am.
please go ahead.
Well, sir, to answer your question, if I'm being completely honest, I am not hopeful about the future of the world because let's be honest, we all are talking about universal values, and I am 100% confident that all of us will talk about universal values and we will continue to practice them. But if you look at the rest of the world, that's not what's happening over there. If you look at the climatic conditions, definitely after the pandemic, we can see that pollution has decreased significantly compared to pre-pandemic levels. Post-pandemic pollution levels have decreased. But like Samskriti said, she also focuses on sustainability, and sustainability does not seem to be going anywhere in today's world. And let's not even get started on the geopolitical topics of the world, sir, because all the things that India, because last year India was the previous host of G20, and almost half the things that we achieved, they were completely ruled down. Like the Europe, Middle Eastern, Indian corridor has now been completely disrupted by the Israel-Hamas conflict that's happening, and now Pakistan would like to join BRICS, and it might seem like India might have to take an exit. And like Samskriti beautifully explained, the butterfly effect. I would also like to add on to that point of the butterfly effect as well. In 2014, Russia invaded Crimea, and then all the West took an anti-Russia stance, which forced them to take China's help. Now, 40% of Russia's economy is indirectly dependent on China. Now, this has caused China to help send an invitation from Russia's behalf to Pakistan, and now they have also sent invites to various autocratic rather than democratic countries such as Iran and Saudi Arabia, and they have also sent it to some democratic countries like Ethiopia and Argentina. But again, BRICS will turn into a sort of autocratic government. And if we look at G7, all the countries are democratic. So now media will always try to start this whole G7 versus BRICS concept, because people say BRICS is like an answer from the emerging economy side to counter G7, but media will turn it into an autocratic versus democratic situation. And if we talk about geopolitics, it's all about the optics, because there's this famous saying, economics is the gun, politics is the trigger. So this really defines, now it will completely ruin the situation. And if I'm being honest, I'm expecting World War III anytime now. We are just waiting for America and the Russian government to pull out the big guns. No one really wants to get into a war, but I believe that the pro stances that media has created and the impact of Western world's liberalism, so-called liberalism, will impact the developing nations, and the future just does not seem hopeful to me, unfortunately. But I hope that we all can work to make a better future. But realistically speaking, I am unfortunately very hopeless about our future.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Srisha, who just said she does not want to comment on geopolitics and she's only in class 9. Just wanting to highlight what kind of turmoil our jury members must be going through right now. Well, ladies and gentlemen, with that we arrive at the end of this grand finale. Like I said, our jury members have a tough task ahead of them, but while they contemplate on whom to pick as their winner, all of you must hold on and watch the next finale that is coming up. Thank you for joining this grand finale that is of universal values for the senior category. And we will see you in the next finale. You take care.